Hi there. If you are thinking about using Spravato to treat depression, then you probably already know it's completely different to taking an antidepressant pill, yeah? It's also essential to know, therefore, what to do when you go to a Spravato clinic for treatment. You're going to be there for 2 hours each and every time. So I'm here to help you make sure that you're set up to make the most of this opportunity to resolve your depression and walk out feeling great. So in this video, I'm going to teach you some really powerful psychological techniques to help you help yourself. Quite literally yourself. That's what I'm talking about here. Before we begin, a quick reminder that we at Marpa Minds are a next generation mental health clinic specializing in Spravato and ketamine therapy. You can learn more at marpaminds.com. Spravato, let's think about it in this way. It's an active medicine. It is not passive, like you just take a tablet every day. It's about opening a door, taking the initiative to step through and then see what's on the other side. And I'm talking about this door being you. You have an opportunity to step and move deeply into yourself. So let's dive in. First of all, every Spravato session is different and will feel different. Some are calm and dreamy, others bring up strong emotions or unexpected memories, but all of them are part of the process. The goal isn't to control your experience, it's to allow it. So let whatever comes come and ensure that your expectations are realistic and just let you be open to whatever comes up. I recommend before each treatment, take some breaths and remind yourself, I'm here to meet myself as I am today, to look into myself and be more real with what I experience. That's enough. I'm here to meet myself today. Feel free to use some imagery as well if that helps. You can picture yourself relaxing on a gentle river current, letting the flow take you where you need to go. The idea is grounded in your body and then open to your experience without limiting it that it needs to be this, or this. I also recommend bringing to each treatment, whenever you go to the clinic, something important to you, like an object or photo with sentimental value. So ask yourself, what should I bring? What do I have? What's important to me right now that represents the future, my hope, my belief, my love for myself? And just you asking yourselves those questions begins to deepen the process of self-reflection and preparation for change. And then you're at the clinic just before the session starts. Make a few clear commitments to yourself. Here's a few examples. I will give my full focus to this time. I trust that whatever I experience, it's part of my healing. I will meet myself right now with kindness and honesty. Make sure your phone is silent, lights are lowered, you're listening to the right kind of music. These are signals to your nervous system that something important is about to happen. But you're not here to perform or achieve. You're not here to be in work mode that needs to know everything and be super alert. This is time to go deep within, to be fully present with your experience of being alive and let the Spravato do its work. And then once you notice the medication beginning to work, you'll probably start drifting inwards, noticing your bodily sensations, thoughts, feelings, memories. It can sometimes help to think of yourself both as a participant and an observer in this process. You don't need to chase thoughts or control where they go. These images and sensations, thoughts and feelings will rise and flow naturally. So let them do that. If strong emotions come up, just breathe through them, because your breath is an anchor to always come back to and return. So if ever you notice yourself panicking, return to your breath as an anchor. If you start feeling detached or confused, remind yourself gently, this is temporary and I'm safe here. If you've got multiple inner voices or feelings all at the same time, that's okay. That's the actual real texture of your mind showing itself honestly and starting to come to the surface what is waiting underneath in our shadow, in our unprocessed, unintegrated amazingness of being a human. One of the most healing things you can do during a session is to stay curious about what is happening inside. So instead of judging thoughts that do come up, just say to yourself, oh, that's interesting. Let me stay open to feeling this a bit more deeply, watching what happens next. Again, you're the participant and the observer. So there's some gentle curiosity here that keeps your mind a bit more open than it normally would be in life. And then it makes it a bit easier not to get stuck in fear, in resistance, or panicking. You can also think of it like being an explorer, but in this occasion, you're exploring your inner world. You're not being the judge of it. You're exploring. and you don't know what might be around the corner. Spravato can temporarily loosen rigid patterns of thinking. That's how it works. So we're going to use this window of neuroplasticity to practice flexibility, emotional flexibility, psychological flexibility, even spiritual flexibility. I'm now going to go quite deeply into one of my favorite techniques called internal family systems, or IFS. And I really recommend you reading about this. You can listen to some podcasts. I've done a few about it as well. So start doing work on IFS, internal family systems, before your sessions. And then here's some techniques you can use when you come to the clinic. It's really practical and easy to learn IFS. And the main idea is that it says that we're complicated and we're filled with these inner family members of different parts of us. Some might be more protective, some might be wounded, some might be creative, some might be scared. We are complex. All of us are made up of many different parts, all competing for our attention and trying to get us to believe that their narrow subjective truth is what I simply must pay attention to now. Luckily, part 2 of IFS, it says we all have something else inside us that is not a part. It's known as yourself with a capital S, and it comes from more Freudian and Jungian psychology. Other people call it your higher self, your objective self, but the main point is that we all have access to this self at any point in time in our life. Our self is always calm, compassionate, confident, able to listen to whatever our parts are bringing to our attention that day. So that's how to know what it feels like. Here's a technique I'm going to introduce, IFS tools, into your Spravato session. So you're sitting there, start noticing part of you that's hopeful and that wants healing. So you can ask yourself this: is there a part of me right now that feels hopeful about wanting to heal? Feel that. Listen, then be able to move on. Is there a part of me that is skeptical or afraid? Feel it. Listen to it. And whenever the time's right, move on. Is there a tired part of me that just wants to rest in this chair? Feel it, listen, then move on. Instead of pushing these parts away, try saying internally to them, thank you for showing up. I'm listening. I'm here. This is the first thing we're doing. We're kind of gathering the parts together, and that small act of acknowledgement can really help the process of deeper healing. You can mentally know what you notice without getting lost in it. You can say to yourself, I'm noticing this is my critic. This is my inner child. Oh, there's my hopeful part showing up. Then you can begin to introduce your part to each other and use some self energy, that's the energy of the self with a capital S, to ensure that parts are able to dialogue together effectively, but that ultimately you, the self, whoever you are, retain control. You're the team leader. So try every day to get used to this feeling of self energy. Know what it feels like to be in self, and on the other side of things, know what it feels like to not be in self energy when you are really stressed out or overwhelmed, for example. When you come out your Spravato session, resist the urge to jump back into daily life and all the stresses that comes with it. Take a few minutes to write down what stood out from your Spravato session, the feelings you had, the sensations, any images that came up, thoughts, memories, any insights and takeaways, even confusion. I don't know what to make of it. Write it down, sit with it, bring more meaning and attention and respect to your inner experience. Integration is what you do after the session, and it's not about interpretation, it's more about digestion. Let it sink more deeply into you and bring your awareness deeper down inside of yourself. Let the meaning reveal itself over time. And then in the hours or days that follow, notice the subtle shifts that might be happening in life. Am I thinking differently about this problem? Am I speaking to myself with more patience? Am I being a bit kinder with my wife, husband, kids, colleagues at work? Am I feeling more aware of my emotions each day? A bit more tuned in emotionally? Am I noticing my parts more? Which parts are coming up most days of the week? Am I tuned into self energy right now? Developing this kind of literacy within yourself and about yourself is really helpful. It helps the medicine to do its work with your mind. So it's not just brain chemistry, it's actual self evolution doing deep inner work. Healing doesn't stop when you leave the clinic. It continues through the choices you make every day, especially when that neuroplastic window of Spravato is open. So try to bring your self energy, that calm, compassionate awareness, into ordinary moments. When you're making coffee, talking to a mate, facing a stressful situation, center, ground into self energy. When you notice old habits, or old tricky decisions coming up, pause and ask, what part of me is active right now? What's coming up? And then what would my calm self say to this part to help me hear it and to retain grounded control in self as the leader of my parts? So over time, as you go more and more for your Spravato therapy, it changes from being a treatment into a training in self and working with yourself, a way of rewiring how you relate to being you. One final reminder, the goal of Spravato isn't to fix you, it's to help you meet yourself more fully and more authentically. And each session is just another step towards integrating all of your parts that make you who you are, even the parts that you've avoided and maybe are a bit scared of. Be patient, be curious, be loving and compassionate to yourself, and have some trust in the medicine, in the clinic, the team that's working with you, but trust your mind, your body, that it knows instinctively how to heal. Thank you for joining me here in this episode of Marpa Minds. My name's David Drapkin, and if you like this video, please like it, subscribe to it, and share your reflections in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about Marpa Minds, we are a Spravato and ketamine clinic. Go to marpaminds.com. All right, until next time, folks, stay open, stay kind, stay connected to yourself. God bless.